Hi there. Welcome back to Pillow Talk Psychology. Go ahead and get comfortable. Settle in. Let your body relax. There's nothing you need to do right now except listen. Tonight, I want to talk about something that most of us do every single day without even knowing it. It's something that causes stress, eats away at our relationships, and slowly chips away at how we feel about ourselves. It's called keeping score. If you've ever felt like you're not good enough, this one is for you. If you've ever put on a mask because you were afraid of what people might think of the real you, or felt like an imposter, you're in the right place. If you've ever spent your free time upset with someone else for not doing their part, learning to stop keeping score can help. So let's take a breath together. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Let's begin. So what does it mean to keep score? It's simple, really. It means you judge yourself or other people based on some kind of ranking. You measure where you stand on a scale. And that scale might be about looks, money, smarts, success, or 100 other things. Think about it. How often do you compare yourself to someone else? Maybe you scroll through your phone before bed, just like you might be doing right now, and you see someone's vacation photos, or their new house, or their perfect-looking family, and something in you tightens. Something whispers, "They have more than me. They're doing better than me. What am I doing wrong?" That's scorekeeping. Or maybe it goes the other direction. You see someone struggling, and a small part of you feels relief. You think, at least I'm not in that situation. At least I'm ahead of them on this one thing. That's scorekeeping too. We do it with ourselves, and we do it with others. We do it with people we love, people we work with, and even total strangers. It happens so fast and so often that most of the time, we don't even notice. Here's what makes scorekeeping tricky. The scales we use are endless. There is no final list. If there is something you can say about a person, how they look, what they drive, where their kids go to school, how clean their house is, how long they have to wait in line, there is a scorecard for it. And we don't just use one scorecard at a time. It's more like a set of Russian nesting dolls. You know, the ones where you open one and there's another one inside and another one inside that. The people I work with in my practice often describe it exactly this way. They start by noticing one way they keep score, and then they discover another and another. Scorecards within scorecards. Maybe you've stopped caring about what car you drive, but you still worry about whether your kids are doing as well as your neighbor's kids. Maybe you've accepted your body, but you still compare your salary to your coworkers. The layers run deep. So why do we do this? Why do we spend so much energy ranking ourselves against other people? The short answer is, it kept us alive. From the very first days of life, we try to control our surroundings to stay safe and comfortable. Think of a baby who cries for food. That baby is learning, very quickly, where they stand in terms of their parents' attention. And to survive, they figure out how to move up that list. We are social creatures. We want to belong. We want to feel like we're part of the group, accepted by the people around us. And one of the ways our brains figure out whether we're safe is by checking, where do I rank? Am I in good standing? Do people respect me? Am I going to be okay? That instinct made a lot of sense thousands of years ago when being part of the group was the difference between life and death. But here's the thing. Most of us aren't in that kind of danger anymore, and yet our brains still act like we are. You can see it at any party or social gathering. Pay attention next time. Notice how quickly the conversation turns to what people do for work, where they live, who they know. Those aren't just small talk. They're ways we figure out where everyone stands. They're scorekeeping in disguise. And in today's world, it's harder than ever to escape. We are surrounded by scorecards. Social media shows us highlight reels of everyone else's life. Advertising tells us what we should want and what we should look like. There are top 10 lists for everything. Best places to live, best colleges, best restaurants, most attractive people. These lists reinforce our natural habit of comparing, and they make it feel normal. But here's a question worth sitting with. Just because something is normal, does that mean it's good for you? Think about that phone in your hand or on your nightstand. How many times today did it show you something that made you compare yourself to someone else? How many times did it nudge you, without you even noticing, to check your position on some invisible scorecard? Now, I want to be clear about something. Not all scorekeeping is bad. If comparing yourself to someone inspires you, if it motivates you to work toward a goal that matters to you, that can be healthy. A little healthy competition can push us to grow. The trouble starts when it crosses a line, and that line is different for everyone. But here's how you can tell if you've crossed it. Pay attention to how you feel. If you feel chronic pressure, stress, or shame, you've probably crossed the line. If you're constantly worried about what other people think of you, you've crossed the line. If enough is never enough, no matter how much you have or how hard you work, you've crossed the line. There's a pattern I see often in my practice. I call it creeping perfectionism. It works like this. You set a goal and you reach it. But instead of pausing to feel good about what you've done, you immediately raise the bar. The target moves, and it keeps moving. You're running a race with a finish line that keeps getting further away. Let me give you an example. Imagine you play golf. You go out and shoot an 85. Not bad, but your playing partner shot an 82. So instead of enjoying the round, the sunshine, the fresh air, the company, you spend the drive home thinking about what went wrong. You replay the 3-putt on the 7th hole. You think about the drive you pushed right on 12. You compare your round to theirs, shot by shot. And by the time you get home, you feel worse than when you started. That's scorekeeping, stealing your joy. Now think about this same thing happening at work, at home, in your closest relationships. Think about how much time and energy gets swallowed up by measuring, comparing, and judging. And it's not just about judging yourself. When you keep score on yourself, you almost always keep score on other people too. You think things like, he doesn't work as hard as I do. She doesn't appreciate what I bring to this family. My friend's marriage looks so much easier than mine. That kind of thinking doesn't just hurt you. It damages your relationships. It makes it harder to trust. It makes it harder to be close. Because when someone feels judged by you, they put up walls, and the connection between you shrinks. And when you feel judged by someone else, you do the same. The stress that comes from judging and being judged can prevent trust from ever taking root. And without trust, real closeness just isn't possible. There's another thing worth knowing about scorekeeping, and it's this. It's often driven by the emotional part of your brain, not the thinking part. When you feel your position on some scorecard is being threatened, even in a small way, your brain can react as if you're in actual danger. It's a kind of fight-or-flight response. Your heart might beat a little faster. Your thoughts might race. You might feel a surge of defensiveness or anger or shame. That's your emotional brain hijacking your thinking brain. And keeping score is what gave the threat a reason to exist in the first place. This doesn't mean you should ignore all threats. There are real ones out there. But your thinking brain needs to come online and help you tell the difference between a threat to your safety and a threat to your rank on some scorecard that doesn't really matter. So what do we do about it? I want to teach you a simple practice. It has 3 steps. Each one matters, and you can't skip any of them. But the beautiful thing is that you can do all 3 in under a minute. And every time you do, you give yourself a small moment of peace. Let's walk through them together. Step 1. Catch yourself keeping score. This is the foundation. You can't change what you can't see. So the first thing you need to do is start noticing when you're doing it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Some scorekeeping is obvious, like when you look at someone's house and think, I wish I had that. But a lot of it is subtle. It hides in the background of your thoughts. Maybe it's a flicker of irritation when your partner doesn't load the dishwasher the way you would. That's scorekeeping. You're judging them against your standard. Maybe it's a wave of insecurity when a coworker gets praised in a meeting. That's scorekeeping too. You're measuring yourself against them. The more you practice noticing, the more you'll catch. And that's okay. Be patient with yourself. The layers reveal themselves slowly. Remember those nesting dolls. Here's a tip. Pay attention to when you're most likely to do it. Is it around certain people? Is it when you're tired, stressed, alone with your thoughts, on your phone, at work? Knowing your patterns helps you catch yourself faster. Step 2. Bring yourself to the present moment. Once you've caught yourself keeping score, the next thing to do is to ground yourself. Come back to right now. There are lots of ways to do this. The simplest is to notice your breathing. Take a slow breath in and let it out. Now, use your senses. Look around. What do you see? Is there a picture on the wall? A window? What do you hear? The hum of a fan? A car passing outside? What do you smell? What do you feel against your skin? Some people like to look for every red object they can spot. Some carry a small tube of hand lotion and take a moment to smell it. Whatever works for you, the goal is the same. Pull yourself out of the comparing mind and into the experiencing mind. Into right now. Right now, you're here. You're safe. You're listening. That's enough. Don't rush this step. Give yourself a few seconds to really land in the present moment before you move on. Step 3. Redirect your thinking. This is where the magic happens. Once you're grounded in the present, you're going to gently steer your mind toward something that feels good. You're going to use your thinking brain to interrupt the emotional brain's attempt to pull you back into judging and comparing. Now, this is important. I'm not asking you to argue with the scorekeeping thought. I'm not asking you to figure out where it came from or whether it's accurate. That kind of analysis keeps you in the scorekeeping zone. It keeps the argument going inside your head. Instead, I want you to think about something completely different, something that brings you a feeling of peace or warmth. Here are 4 ways to do that. The first is being curious. Use the present moment as a launching point. Wonder about something. What is that sound you hear? What kind of tree is outside the window? If you're with someone, what might they be thinking about right now? What are they looking forward to? Curiosity is the opposite of judgment. You can't be truly curious and judgmental at the same time. The second is being in awe. Look around for something remarkable. something you usually take for granted. The engineering behind your phone. The way a tree knows how to grow toward the light. The fact that your heart has been beating without you asking it to for your entire life. Make a practice of looking for something that you find awesome. Awe is a quiet kind of wonder, and it can dissolve stress almost instantly. The third is being grateful. But here's the key. Don't just think of something you're grateful for. Actually, let yourself feel the gratitude. Let it fill your chest. Hold it there for 20 or 30 seconds. This is important because it's easy to say you're grateful without actually experiencing the feeling. The feeling is what changes your brain chemistry. The feeling is what brings the peace. And the fourth is being kind. Think a kind thought about someone you care about. Or, if the opportunity is there, do something kind for someone nearby. Here's a real example. Let's say you catch yourself judging the person serving you at a restaurant. You notice the thought. You take a breath. You look around the room. And then, in place of continuing to judge them, you think of something kind to say or do. In just a few seconds, you've turned a moment of judgment into a moment of connection. Now, whichever of these four you choose, curiosity, awe, gratitude, or kindness, the important thing is to let yourself feel it. Don't just think it, feel it. Take a full 20 to 30 seconds and let the feeling build. Let it wash through you. Baste your brain in the feel-good chemicals. Savor the feeling, whether it's curiosity, awe, gratitude, or kindness. What you're doing in those few seconds is giving yourself a mindful moment, a tiny pocket of peace, right in the middle of your day. And over time, those moments add up. So what happens when you start practicing this? First, you get your time and energy back. Scorekeeping takes more out of you than you realize. Every negative thought about yourself leads to an internal debate. Am I okay? Am I not okay? Should I be doing more? That debate burns energy you could be using for things that actually matter to you. Second, your stress goes down. And I don't just mean you feel a little calmer. Chronic stress, the kind that comes from constantly measuring yourself and falling short, is linked to real health problems, trouble sleeping, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, digestive issues. When you reduce the scorekeeping, you reduce the stress. And when you reduce the stress, your body and mind start to heal. Third, you start feeling better about yourself. It's a straight line. When you stop judging yourself so harshly, you feel better. People I work with describe it as a general feeling of satisfaction and acceptance that they didn't have before. This is what people mean when they say, "Stop being so hard on yourself." Except now, you have a way to actually do it. And fourth, and this might be the most important one, your relationships improve. When you stop keeping score on the people you love, something shifts. You become more accepting. You soften your expectations. And when someone feels less judged by you, they relax. They open up. They trust you more. They share things they've been holding back. That kind of openness is the foundation of real closeness. Less scorekeeping equals greater intimacy. That's worth repeating. Less scorekeeping equals greater intimacy. So that's what's waiting for you on the other side of this practice. Now, let me be honest with you. You're not going to stop keeping score completely. It's too deeply wired into who we are as people, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. The goal is catching yourself and choosing a different path, even if it's just for 30 seconds. Some days, you'll catch it quickly. Other days, you'll realize hours later that you spent the whole afternoon comparing yourself to someone and feeling terrible. When that happens, don't beat yourself up about it. That would just be more scorekeeping. Instead, smile at yourself. Maybe even chuckle and get back on track. With practice, the skill gets easier. You build momentum. The moments of peace get longer and more frequent. The judgmental thoughts get quieter and less sticky. And gradually, not keeping score becomes more natural. Like learning a new language. At first, you have to work hard to catch yourself using the old one. But over time, the new language becomes just as automatic. I want to leave you with one more thought before you drift off. You might miss scorekeeping sometimes. You might miss the little thrill that comes from feeling like you're ahead, like you're better than someone else in some way. That's normal, but that thrill is always short-lived. It fades as fast as it arrives. What doesn't fade, what stays with you, is the deep, quiet satisfaction that comes from accepting yourself and the people around you just as they are. That feeling lasts, and it grows. So tonight, as you lie here, I want you to try something. If a scorekeeping thought comes up about your day, about yourself, about someone in your life, just notice it. Don't fight it. Don't judge yourself for having it. Simply catch it. Then take a breath. Feel where you are right now. The pillow under your head, the weight of the blanket, the air moving in and out of your lungs, the quiet of the room around you, the softness of your body sinking into the bed. And then choose one. Be curious about something. Let yourself feel awe at something. Think of something you're grateful for. And really, let the feeling in, or send a kind thought to someone you love. That's it. That's the whole practice. Catch it. Ground yourself. Redirect. And know that every time you do this, you are choosing peace over pressure, connection over comparison, kindness over judgment. You are enough, exactly as you are. Good night. Sleep well, and I'll see you next time.